Now in the second part we are going to overlap the image with the line drawing, and to do this I opened up the exported image, the exported line drawing from Rhino into Illustrator, and then I have a background image that we rendered from Rhino as well. And what I'm going to do is first set up our template to be a tabloid. I go to document setup, edit artboards, and here I choose A3 size and portrait, and then hit OK, and that will be set. Now the next thing is I'm going to choose line drawing, hold shift, and then scale it up from a few angles so that we can place it in the middle. And then I'm going to start giving these layers different line weights. So we should do this with some visual hierarchy based on the thicknesses that we see on the screen. I'm going to start with thickest lines, which are going to be the outline. That will separate the line drawing from the background. So I'm going to choose the outline layer, give it 2-point thickness, and then from there I'm going to lock it. The next thing I'm going to choose is the column. Let's choose the columns, leave it at 1 point, and then give it the registration mark so it turns into black. The next one I'm going to choose the cornices. Now when you have details like this, it's better to put them on the lighter side, because if the lines are too thick then they can overlap and the geometry wouldn't be as clear as we would like them to be. So I'm going to give them 0.75. And once you zoom in, you can see this type of hierarchy emerging. So this is the thickest line that's going to separate our axon from the background. When there are tons of parallel lines or details, we give them a lighter line weight, and all the remaining stuff could get a normal line weight as well. So once that's done, actually let's make this 0.75 as well. Once that is done, what we're missing is the sections here, and to do those I choose a section layers. This will be located under a new layer called image. So I'm going to put this background image to an image layer and put this all the way underneath the line drawing. Later on we're going to put this overlap this with the line drawing. I'm going to choose a section layer, and I'm going to turn the stroke to a fill, and to do that I'm going to basically swap these two so that the cut portion of the geometry will be highlighted as black. And I'm basically done with the line weights. I have one more thing, this default layer, which basically isn't anything, and then under the image layer I'm going to choose the image. Now I actually cropped this in Photoshop, and it's basically you open the PNG file in Photoshop and then you just like drag it from 4 sides until you snap to the geometry itself. It's something you can figure out. It's really easy to do, and enables us to overlap the image with our drawing as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it somewhere on the drawing. I'm going to hold shift on my keyboard, grab one of its edges, and then drag it to the right, and until I see intersect I leave it, and do the same thing towards the left, and until I see intersect with the leftmost bound I'm going to snap it to the drawing. And then I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to move it up and down, and we can also drag it until we see intersect. But the key part is basically at some point when you're dragging it, the fuzziness of the edges will be gone, because the rendering and the drawing would overlap perfectly. And once you find that location, lock this image to the drawing. Actually don't lock it. First let's choose the image and then give it some opacity, because there are some shadows here that won't show the lines as well, so we want to give it some opacity. Let's give it 50%, and that will add some nice depth to our axonometric drawing. And the last thing I want to do is add a text, and we can do it with the text toolbar, text tool, and then I'm going to write partial Axon Tuscan columns, and then make this Garamond, make it italic and 25, and then justified aligned into the center, and then I'm going to place it somewhere underneath the drawing towards the middle. So this is basically good to go. And what I do is go to File, Save As, and then I'm going to save it as a PDF, hit Save, and then under File Settings, Presets, I choose Press Quality, and I save it.